Donald and Douglas are Scottish twin engines who are proud to be working on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. The twins are working very hard. One day, Donald and Douglas were speaking to each other because they were thinking about a race. "Hey, Donny, I would like to race with you one day," said Douglas. "Ho, ho, ho, I would win the race," said Donald. "Aye, we'll see about that," said Douglas. "Aye, okay, let's go out and tell the other engines," said Donald. "Aye, yes we should," agreed Douglas. Then they set off to go tell the other engines about the race. They found Duck resting on the siding. "Hello, Duck," said Donald. "Me and Doggy are gonna have a race." "Aye, would you like to come and watch us?" asked Douglas. "Oh yes, I would love to come and watch you guys race," agreed Duck. Then the three engines set off. Then next, the Scottish twins told Emily about the race. "I would love to," replied Emily, and she puffed on. Later, all the engines scattered up for the race. "All right, on your marks, get set, go!" And then the twins set off. They were puffing through bridges and around bends. Donald went ahead of Douglas. Then Douglas went ahead of Donald. Then, after the final lap, Douglas won the race and Donald came in second. "Woo! Woo! Yeah! Great job, Douglas!" cheered the other engines. "Great job, Douglas," said Emily. "Yes," agreed Daisy. "Great job." "Would you like to have another race?" asked Douglas. "Ah, yes, I would," replied Donald. "Okay then, let's do it." And then the two engines got ready. "On your marks, get set, go!" And then the two engines set off. First, Douglas came ahead of Donald, and then Donald came ahead of Douglas. Donald huffed, and Douglas puffed. They whooshed around bends, and then Donald came in first place, and Douglas came in second. Everyone cheered. "Woo-hoo! Great job, Donald!" cheered the other engines. "Oh, yes, good job, Donald!" cheered Gordon, James, and Edward at the same time. "Yeah, Donald, great job!" cheered Percy, Henry, and Gordon all together. Yeah, good job, Donny," said Douglas. "Aye, thank you, Doggy," said Donald. "Let's have another race," said Douglas. "Aye, let's do this," agreed Donald. "On your marks, get set, go," said Duck. And then the two engines set off. The two engines were also racing around bridges and around bends. First, Donald went ahead of Douglas, and then there was trouble. Psh! Donald ground to a halt. "Flat my funnel, I burst at the safety valve," said Donald. "Stop, Doggy, stop," said Donald. Douglas heard Donald, and he applied his brakes and screeched to a halt. He reversed back. "Everything all right there, brother?" said Douglas. "No, Doggy," said Donald. "I burst at the safety valve." "Don't worry, I'll help you," said Douglas. "I'll go tell the other engines." and Douglas puffed up to Tim's sheds where the other engines were. Donnie burst the safety valve. Please pause the race. All right then, said Douglas. The race has been paused. Then Douglas went back to go help Donald. Douglas buffered up behind Donald, and then he shunted Donald to the repair yard. At last, Douglas has shunted Donald to the repair yard, and then he went back to the sheds. Anyone want to volunteer to race with me next? Asked Douglas. I would, replied Emily. Okay then, said Duck. On your marks, get set, go. Then Douglas and Emily set off. They were huffing and puffing. Emily went ahead of Douglas. Then Douglas went ahead of Emily. Then Emily went ahead of Douglas again. At last, after the final lap, Emily got in first place and Douglas came in second. Woo! Great job, Emily! Cheered Gordon, James, and Edward all together. Of course, Douglas stopped racing because he's just a little slowpoke, said Spencer. Shut up, Spencer. Don't talk like that about Donald. But it's true, replied Spencer. Says the one who's scared to race Connor. This made Spencer very cross. Exactly, Spencer. Now shut up. You can't be talking. Later that evening, Douglas went to go visit Donald. Hi, Dougie, said Donald. Hi, Donnie, said Douglas. I was racing with Emily on the final lap. She took over your place, and she won the race. Aye, that's awesome. Emily's a very fast engine, replied Donald. Ah, yes, agreed Douglas. Maybe you should race Emily one day. Donald said nothing. He just fell fast asleep.